to be the moments. I'm not going to say that I won't be trying. I'm not going to tell people to flippantly just move outside the United States necessarily. Though I would say if you can't move outside the United States, I just had an interesting conversation around the power of the black dollar. And we know the power of the black dollar here
Woof.
in the United States. It's
Yeah.
I forget the exact number, but it's
I
worth
think it's eight
uh,
trillion or something, I think
yeah,
was the
it's
last
it's
number.
insane. And so let me be clear. And I also want to tell this to my fellow people of color. Just I want to look
Hmm.
at y'all and just give you a little message. When the orange man, who's the president elect, says that he wants people to be mass deported, he's not looking at people like Kimber and I. White people
Mm-mm.
don't want us to go nowhere because they have learned how to propagate off of our intelligence, off of everything about us. They understand that if we actually leave, what in the world are they going to do with themselves? So they're going to make it. I foresee that they will actually make it very difficult for Black people to leave this country.
Mm.
Not that they're going to make it easy for us to want to stay here. Don't
Uh,
get me twisted there.
right,
Right, but
right.
they don't want us to actually leave. So all y'all other ones who thought you were safe, y'all were the right minority, whatever it is that you thought about yourself. He's talking it to y'all. He ain't talking about us. He don't want us to go nowhere. Okay,
Right.
but that's actually there's a little bit of there should be strength in that knowledge,
Mm.
right? Because
Right.
like what can we do with that? So what can we do with those trillions of dollars that don't no longer circulate that don't circulate in the Black community not more than 60 seconds, right?
Exactly.
Like what can we do to ensure that it does continue to circulate in the Black community? What kind of digital economy can we create? What kind of structures can we create so we don't run into the decimation of what happened to Black Wall Street and many of the Black Wall Street
Mm.
across the United States and the devastation of a lot of our communities of wealth. Let me be
Right.
clear, these communities were wealthy
Yes.
communities.
Yes.
Um,
Successful, wealthy, independent communities, like not codependent on any other communities. They were their own banks and doctors' offices and all the things. Schools.
schools, and so in some ways we have an opportunity to go back there, but with the knowledge of knowing how do we ensure that we're protected when we do those things.
Yeah.
So I think like that's one. But the other thing is, someone was like, if you send $20 to Africa, that $20 will stretch a long time. So we decided like, let's just start buying up. I'm not trying to be funny, but like, let's buy up some land in Africa. Do
Right.
we want to create our own country? But Liberia was created off of that in the 1950. I can't remember exactly what 1950.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, who's to say that we can't do things of this nature? Right? We have certain blueprints. We have a Marcus Garvey. We have a Malcolm X. We have Black Panther Party. We have our former Black Wall Street. But what we had that they didn't have was what actually happened afterwards. And now we can study that history and shore up against that. And then
Right.
also think about, okay, future thinking, forward thinking, where are we going? And with this age of technology, with the digital currencies, with the virtual reality, with blockchain, what are the ways that we can ensure that we don't see the decimation of things that we put forward again? So anyway, so I say that to say that like I think there is still hope. That is the optimism in me,
Right.
a solution builder in me. That being said, trust me, I took a few days and I was like, I ain't talking to not one white person, so don't even hit me up, child.
Don't look at me sideways. Don't do none of it because I'm not. I wasn't the one ordered to.
Okay,
Okay.
so I was like,
Because we can't
not
count y'all for
today,
nothing.
not
Y'all
today,
backstabbing asses. We can't do it.
not today, Rufus, and you know, uh,
Not today, Rufus. Look, look. This is how we were. We lie, look. If anybody calling,
child. Okay, so
listen. So no, and it's just it's oh,
so
I
just
want
let
to,
the
I want to.
marinade and cooking on because I mean all the other stuff, but I was like, baby, I got it. I've been focused on. I'm like, I'm focused, man. Okay, Jay Z up here, focused, man.
We gotta focus. We gotta figure it out. And like you said, we may have misquoted the numbers, but I know that with the spending dollar that the Black community has, we could potentially be the eighth largest country in the world. That number I know. It's definitely the eighth largest country by way of GDP. So if we took all the dollars that we spend and created our own little country, technically we'd be the eighth. And so the idea is that, like you said, they can't afford these powers that wanna be.
Okay. Please don't talk to me not one more time about no DEI because we already know who the true DEI folks. And we've always, okay, as Black folk, we've always known this anyway. I mean, this is why Uncle Nearest uh, the man. I mean, we had Einstein that stole from his black slave, Benjamin
Exactly.
Franklin. But so many of them stole ideas from their black
And
counterparts.
they'll never get their their
They'll
their
never get their
due.
credit. Okay,
Mm-mm, never
so
get their credit, never get what they're owed. But like you said, to Uncle Nearest's point, who was the guy that took their stuff? Who was the whiskey company? Jim
Jack Daniels. Hey
Jack
Jack,
Daniels. I'm saying
yours is
Jim.
not
Come on,
you.
Jack.
Mhm.
Hit the road, Jack. That's where that song
Okay.
comes from. No, I don't know, but I just made that up. It does not hit the road, Jack, because you just stole the people's stuff.
Okay. So now I'm
So
looking
the
at all these people who are getting appointments who have nothing to do with any of the things that they're being appointed for. Literally no experience. No experience. Nothing on that resume that says anything that they know. And I'm sitting there like, hello. I get it. So their criteria is white. That's it. I mean, what other criteria could they possibly use?
so
So
right. So you talk about DEI. It's like okay, that's the diversity because it's diversity in qualification because now they're saying, well, we're looking at candidates across the board that may or may not have experience. You're basically looking at people who don't have no experience, but all you got to be is white. That's the diversity. That's what you're looking for. You
that's
like
all
no
we need.
experience necessary. So, and I don't know what other job is hiring with people who just ain't got no experience at all. Like
At all. I was
just
like,
dumb as a
what?
box of rocks. Child, I can't.
They can't. You know, even like I have a whole cadre of clients. I get referred all the time. I've been sending out proposals and they have to go through my entire client list. They need a referral. I'm
Mm.
like, are we serious right now? The proof is in the pudding. Just Google me, bitch. Like I
Just
just
go
want to say
right.
that. Just Google me.
Just look for me. Just put my first and last name
Just
in.
put
You'll
my
get
name up in
hundreds of pages. Google sick of me. Google sick of you because we got enough to say. We've been in all the places, in enough of the places. And but again, it's a slap in the face to like you said, all the hard work, all the blood, sweat, and tears. We had to always. I think they call it the John Henry factor. You got to run faster. You got to jump higher. And it will never, according to this country in today's climate, it will never be enough.